Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be showing you a really affordable way to make your own Christmas tree. The materials for this project can be bought at either Walmart or the Dollar Tree. What you'll need for this project is some basic pine garland. You can buy that at Walmart for about $2, or you could check out your local thrift shop and see what you can find there. We got ours at a local thrift shop for a few dollars a bag, and we got 3 different varieties. Then you'll need a trunk for your tree. We used an actual stick from our yard. Or if you don't have any branches lying around your yard, you could use a broomstick. Just take the head off and wrap it up with some tape sort of roughly, and then you'll have to paint it brown. Or another option is to use some 2x2 you can pick up at your hardware store in about a 6 foot, 8 foot length or so. And they can cut that for you. As always, we appreciate your support. Please hit like and subscribe. Our garland already came decorated, so we'll have to take those off, and then we'll use the decorations later. To start your tree, you'll take the garland and extend about 6 inches of that over the top of the tree. Then about 2 or 3 inches down, you'll take a zip tie and connect that to your trunk. And make sure that you really put that zip tie on tight, because when you're wrapping the garland around your trunk, you don't want to be pulling it down. Then when you're putting the garland around the trunk, you just spin your trunk. It's much easier to do that than trying to wrap the garland around the trunk itself. And we're making an Alpine style fir tree, and that's why it looks kind of sparse, because, well, that's the way they look. And the great thing about making your own tree is that it'll fit in any space. Small apartment, big apartment, you just make it to the size you want. And remember to leave a lot of space at the bottom, because Alpine fir trees have a lot of empty space on the bottom. So when your garland gets to that certain point, just zip tie that up and cut off any excess. And if you really have a lot of excess garland left, you can make yourself another tree, maybe even a little forest. Now it's time to fluff out your tree. Alpine fir trees' limbs hang off to the side and down, so when you're fluffing your limbs on the tree, just point them downward toward the ground. We got pretty inspired with this project, and there's a bit of a surprise coming up soon, so keep watching, because I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. For the base of your tree, you can get any piece of wood. Now we got this cabinet door at the Restore for 5 cents. Maybe you could check your Restore. Maybe there's some good cabinet doors on sale there for you. But you can use any piece of wood that you might have around or buy a... So at this point, if you're using a limb, you'll have to drill some pilot holes into your base, because we're going to be screwing some screws through the base into the tree to hold it in place. And depending on the thickness of your limb, you'll probably need 2 or 3 screws. Now if you're not using the limb and you're using the broomstick or the 2x2, then you could probably get a nice flower pot and fill that with rocks to support your tree trunk. And when you put your screws in, you'll want them extended out just a little bit so you can know where to put the tree. And then just drill the screws into the tree. Then once your screws are in, you'll want to cover those up so you don't wreck your floor. We just used some furniture felt pads on each corner of the base and then covered the screws with that as well. And you can get those at your Dollar Tree. The cost for this project is pretty minimal. So we got the base for 5 cents at the Restore. The limb we got for free from our backyard. And we spent about $2 a bag for the garland. We also bought some strings of light on Amazon for $2 a set. But you could use any lights that you have at home or any decorations you might have, just to help keep the cost down. So we put the lights on the tree, and here's the big light up. Woohoo! Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So for our decorating, we went and picked up some pine cones. You might want to bake those in your oven at 200 degrees for about 10 minutes or so that you don't have any surprises. And when you're putting your pine cones on the tree, you just have to put a branch in between the fronds, and it'll hold in place really nice. And to dress up the bottom of the tree, just take some snow blanket that you can get at Dollar Tree and wrap that around the base. And to decorate our tree, we're going to be reusing the decorations we took off the garland originally. And you can use any decorations you have around the house that you have. Now you've got yourself a cute and affordable Christmas tree. Yee-hee! Here's another option for your Christmas tree. You can pick up one of these little trees anywhere, Dollar Tree, Walmart, and just fluff out the branches and make another Alpine Christmas tree. Just pull the branches down, and then you can just rub it down so you get that nice Alpine look. Then you can get yourself a nice cut limb and take the base off your tree, drill that into the base that you're going to be using, put the tree back in, and you have yourself another Christmas tree. And by adding the limb to your tree, it gives you a nice tall presence and it looks more like a Christmas tree. Then using the same method we used before, we drilled that to our base as well. Since we added that one to the base, we thought, oh, let's make another one. And we'll add that to the base. Now you can't see your Christmas tree for the forest. All of our trees got pine cones and lights, and on the two taller trees, we're going to be putting in some birds. And here's Harry to help me put everything together. For the birds, we had some antique ones that we picked up at a garage sale, but you can get any kind of birds like a Dollar Tree or wherever, just to add some visual interest to your trees. And on the little tree, to hide the transition, you just wrap some garland around the bottom. It's so satisfying to create things with your own hands, and it saves a lot of money, especially this year. Then to dress up our base, I'll be using this Dollar Tree moss and some white glue. We'll just put the white glue onto the wood and throw the moss on top. Gives a nice scenic look. So just put your glue down and spread it around with a little brush and put your moss on top. But work in little sections because the glue will dry before you finish. So I started putting the moss at the base of the trees first to give it a nice natural look into the base. And there's my helper and Inspector Harry making sure I get it all right. Then once you've done the bases of the trees, just pick a section, start mossing up that until you finish up your whole base. Once all your moss is in place, you'll have a beautiful forest floor like this. We enjoyed making that project so much, we decided to make another one. Here's Harry checking it out. Sure hope he doesn't lift a leg. There, Harry likes it. My wife had this idea, but I'm pretty sure she read my mind about putting in a fallen tree in the front. Which brings up the question, if a tree falls in a forest and you're not there to hear it, did it actually fall? Well, it looks like it did. So if you'd like a broken tree in your scenery, just find a limb, break it, glue down the stem, and put the other tree like it fell over. If you have any woodland creatures around that you could put in there, go ahead and put them in. We put in these deers just to add some visual interest. You could even add a gnome so he'll feel at home. These beautiful forest scenes can be placed anywhere. We flanked our fireplace with both of them, but they would look really good against the stairway or even outside on your porch. Oh, and there's a little surprise visitor, a little raccoon hiding under the tree. And we put in some little mushrooms at the base of the trees as well. I do hope you give this Christmas tree idea a try at home. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next time.